In this part, we are going to talk about larynx. Larynx is also a part of the respiratory tract. Larynx is also known as voice box, or it's also known as, in case of males, it's also known as Adam's apple. So these are the two terms given to this structure, that is larynx. Larynx is made up of 4 cartilages. Actually, 3 types of cartilages, but the number is 4. What are those cartilages? The first one is thyroid cartilage, which is 1 in number, so 1. The second one is cricoid cartilage, which is also 1 in number, and the third one is arytenoid cartilage, which is 2 in number. So the larynx or voice box or Adam's apple, it is made up of 4 cartilages. There are 3 types of cartilages and the number of the cartilages are 4. The first one is thyroid cartilage, which is 1 in number, cricoid cartilage, which is also 1 in number, and arytenoid cartilage, which are 2 in number. This thyroid cartilage are the biggest or the largest. We can tell it the largest. Largest cartilage in the larynx. The largest cartilage in the larynx, thyroid cartilage. Arytenoid cartilage, which are 2 in number. These are the smallest cartilage in the structure, that is larynx. This larynx is lined with, so we can write it here, larynx is lined with ciliated columnar epithelium. So what do we mean by ciliated columnar epithelium? Ciliated means the epithelium has cilia. Columnar means the cells or the cells which are present in the tissue, that is epithelium, they are column-like. So the larynx is made up of, or it's lined with, the ciliated columnar epithelium. So now let's try to understand the structure of the larynx, the 3 parts of the larynx, that is thyroid, cricoid and arytenoid. So for this we have to draw a structure. So it's somewhat like this. And so this is the structure of larynx when we open it. So when we open it this way, the larynx looks somewhat like this. So if you imagine, if this is a paper and you drew this, when you fold this paper like this, in this way, you see a circular structure, that is larynx. Now we are going to label the thyroid, cricoid and arytenoid. This part, this big structure, eye-shaped structure, that is the thyroid cartilage. And this little bar here, just below the thyroid, is the cricoid cartilage of the larynx. And these 2 small triangular cartilages are the arytenoid cartilages. So AA. So this is what the larynx looks like. But this is the structure when we open it. When we open it like this, when you fold it this way, it comes in we can see it in a circular manner. So that is the structure of the larynx and the three types of cartilages, that is thyroid, cricoid and arytenoid. So as you can see, thyroid is the largest cartilage, so that's why it's very large. It's in I shape, the English alphabet I. Arytenoid are the smallest ones, so they are little triangular pieces or the cartilages which are present just beside the thyroid cartilages. So if you have to write, the thyroid cartilage supports the front part of the larynx. So this is the front part of the larynx. The upper part of the larynx, so the upper part of the larynx, and the lower part of the larynx, or the bottom part and the bottom part of the larynx. So as you can see in the structure here, this is the front of the larynx, this is the upper part of the larynx, and this is the bottom part of the larynx. Now let's come to cricoid cartilage, which is present in the larynx. Cricoid cartilage supports only the bottom part, so only the bottom region. So here also you can see cricoid cartilage is just present, or it supports only the bottom part or region of the larynx. Coming to arytenoid. Arytenoid are triangular in shape, somewhat in triangle shape, and they support the back side of the larynx. So back side of the larynx, and that too not completely, just small triangular pieces of the cartilage which are present. So back side, that too it's not completely. So these are the three types of cartilage that we have to understand which are present in the larynx: thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage and the arytenoid cartilage. So thyroid cartilage is the largest cartilage and it supports the front, upper and the bottom part. Cricoid cartilage supports only the bottom region. So this cricoid is a ring-like structure. So because when we open it, we see that cricoid cartilage is a rectangular in shape. But when you actually fold it this way, you see a bottom ring-like structure. So we can add one more thing here. This cricoid cartilage is a ring-like structure which is present in the bottom region of the larynx. It's ring-like. And the arytenoid, these are triangle in shape, and they support the back side of the larynx, and that too it's not completely. So here we have understood the larynx, 4 cartilages of the larynx, the largest one, smallest one, and the 3 types of larynx with the help of a structure. Now one more important thing. So one more thing that we need to understand when we talk about larynx is that from the anterior or the front part of the larynx, from anterior part, there is a structure which arises, that is epiglottis. So epiglottis. So epiglottis is the structure which arises from the anterior or front part of the larynx. So of the larynx. So if you see, if this is the structure of the larynx, somewhat like this, a circular structure, from the anterior part this larynx arises like this. it's a flap-like structure, cartilaginous flap-like structure which arises from the front part, that is from the thyroid cartilage. This small structure which arises, that is epiglottis, and it's a flap-like structure. Now this epiglottis, it closes the trachea or the windpipe or the respiratory tract. It prevents the food from going into the respiratory tract. So that's why we should never talk while we are eating. So even if we talk, this epiglottis, it closes the windpipe or trachea or the respiratory tract while we are eating. So it basically prevents the food going into this respiratory tract region. That is the function of the epiglottis. So we can write it here. This is epiglottis, which is a small cartilaginous flap-like structure. So cartilaginous flap which prevents food from going into or from entering the respiratory tract or the windpipe or trachea. So this is the epiglottis. Epiglottis arises from the anterior or the front part of the larynx. One more thing is about the vocal cords. Now if we take the transverse section of the larynx, it looks like this. This is the transverse section of the larynx. Now this is the glottis. Glottis is the pipe, glottis is when we see the transverse section of the trachea or the respiratory tract. This is the glottis. Now there are some elastin fibers which are present when we see this larynx in the transverse section. Some elastin fibers which are present, those are nothing but vocal cords. So these are basically the elastin fibers, which means that they can stretch. So this is the glottis and these are the vocal cords. So glottis is the space between the two vocal cords. Now these vocal cords are longer in males and they are shorter in females as compared to males. So shorter in females. So in males it is 2.5 centimeters long. So 2.5 centimeters long in case of males. It's a bit longer. But in females it's a bit smaller or shorter. So this is about the vocal cords in males and females, and this is the glottis vocal cords which are made up of elastin fibers. Now let's understand the sound production. How is the sound produced? So here we have told that larynx is called as voice box. Why is it called voice box? Because this is a structure where the sound or our voice is produced. So basically when we inhale, so inhale means when we take in the air or when we breathe in the air. So we can write here, when we inhale or during inhalation, these vocal cords, they contract. So these vocal cords, they contract means they move apart like this. So vocal cords So if we take an example, if this is the vocal cords, these are the two vocal cords, when they are here, they actually move like this. So like this, they contract. They move a bit far apart. So vocal cords contract. Then what happens? The glottis, which is the space between the two vocal cords, the glottis becomes wider. So if this is the glottis, glottis becomes a bit wider because the vocal cords are contracting. So glottis becomes wider. So due to which the glottis becomes wider. This is what happens in normal inhalation. Now let's come to exhalation. During exhalation, what happens is vocal cords relax. That means they come to their original position. So vocal cords relax. Because we have told that they're elastic fibers, that means they can stretch. So they stretch like this and they come back to their original position, that is they relax. So during exhalation when we breathe out the air, that time vocal cords they relax, and at this point of time the glottis becomes narrower. So glottis narrower. Now when this glottis becomes narrower, these vocal cords relax, they come like this, and these two vocal cords they come near and the glottis becomes too much narrower. Then what happens is the two vocal cords they vibrate. So you can add one more thing here. The vocal cords vibrate, and when vocal cords vibrate the sound is produced. So vocal cords vibrate, and we can write here the sound is, or the voice is produced. That's why we call them voice box. Here is where the voice or the sound is produced, that is larynx. So this is how the sound production happens. So during exhalation vocal cords relax. When vocal cords relax, glottis becomes narrower. Again vocal cords become too much narrower and they finally vibrate, and then the sound is produced. Now by this we can conclude that sound is only produced when we exhale. So only during exhalation the sound is produced. Now during inhalation also sound is produced, but both during inhalation and exhalation sound is produced. But we talk normally during exhalation only. You can try to talk during inhalation, so you can breathe in and at the same time you can try to talk, but the voice will not be similar, or voice won't be normal as your normal voice. So the normal voice or the normal talking that we do, or the normal sound is produced, that is only when exhalation is happening. Only during exhalation the sound is produced. During inhalation also sound is produced, but it's not as normal as our general normal voice. So this is about the sound production. So in this video we have talked about the larynx, which is the voice box or Adam's apple. Then we have talked about the four cartilages, that is thyroid, cricoid and arytenoid, and then we have looked at the largest one, smallest one, and then it's lined with ciliated columnar epithelium. Also the structure of the larynx with this kind of structure. So present like this. So they are present somewhat like this. So these triangles are different. Like this. So these are the arytenoid cartilages. Now it's perfect. So this is thyroid, this is arytenoid, this is the cricoid cartilage. So this is not exactly how the larynx is present, but we just took an example to understand it better. So when you fold it this way, the thyroid supports the front, upper and the lower or the bottom part. Cricoid cartilage only supports the bottom part and its rod-like structure. And the arytenoid cartilage are triangular and they support the back side of the larynx, and that too not completely. So this thing we have already studied, and also we learned about the epiglottis. From the anterior part of the larynx, this epiglottis arises. It's a cartilaginous flap which prevents food from entering the respiratory tract. And then we have taken a look at the vocal cords, longer in males and shorter in females, which are made up of elastin fibers. And finally we have talked about the sound production. So during inhalation vocal cords contract and glottis becomes wider. during exhalation vocal cords relax and glottis becomes narrower, and then vocal cords vibrate and then the sound is produced. So this is about the sound production. So in this video we have learnt about larynx, types of larynx and the structure with the help of a structure, the epiglottis, vocal cords and the sound production.